Okay, so just so you guys know, process-wise, for those of you who are new and haven't been sworn in yet, until you've been sworn in, you do not get to vote on things. So just keep that in mind if anything comes to a vote prior to you guys being sworn in. However, we do have guest speakers speaking tonight, and we will allow y'all to ask some questions if there are things that you would like to ask. Does that kind of make sense? Awesome. Okay, so moving on, Secretary Mattern will do roll call as we go. And the first thing up after that is the approval of last week's minutes. You guys should have all gotten them, those of you who are voting members currently yesterday, to be able to review them. So we'll go ahead and put that to a vote. I would like to entertain a motion to vote to approve last week's minutes. All right, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye or do a thumbs up emoji. Great. All opposed, say nay. And any abstentions? Fantastic. That is approved unanimously. So we'll go back to the agenda. Okay, so moving on to open forum. Is anyone here for open forum? Okay, seeing none, we'll move right along. So for speakers podium, those of you that are current members should have received a short bio about both of our guest speakers this evening. I wanted you guys to have a little bit of background about them in order to be able to ask appropriate questions for their areas. So I hope you will take this opportunity to ask lots of questions and be very interactive. These two ladies have taken time out of their day to be here with us and provide us some great information about what the university is up to. And that is a very special opportunity. So I would like to invite Dr. Swain to go ahead and share with us what you've been up to.
Well, good evening. Thank you, President Jennings and all the senators. I am delighted to be here this evening. I apologize that I am not there in person with you. I went at lunch to pick up my dog from the dog hospital. And so I needed to come home real quickly and just check on him. And I knew I couldn't get back up to campus in time for this meeting. So thank you for the flexibility of being able to visit with you through Zoom. Let me just welcome you. We're already actually 6 weeks into the fall semester, but I hope that you've had a great start to the fall semester. Like you, I know all of us were really hoping that we would be completely back to whatever normal was. And we're not quite there, but hopefully we will be soon. We have a wonderful undergraduate cohort this fall. It is actually our most diverse cohort. So we're really excited about that, that we are opening doors to people who may not have been able to or haven't come to UT Tyler in the past. So we're thankful to have this rich and diverse class that does allow us to enrich our UT Tyler family. I want to thank you so much for your help last year as we worked on the syllabus module, and you will hopefully have seen that in all of your classes, that the syllabus module is there. In terms of things going on in the university, I really don't have any big things to share with you. I know that Katie Stone is here and she'll be talking with you about our QEP, and that is coming up. UT Tyler is going through our reaffirmation year, and that relates to our accreditation. It's a really big deal. And we are, moving forward with that. It's also UT Tyler's 50th anniversary. So we're finally 50. And that's pretty exciting in the world of a university. The areas that I'm over that report to me are really undergraduate programs and many of the services that relate to them that are academic related. And so, for instance, that would involve the undergraduate advising. It reports in my division. I am not overseeing it directly. If you want to visit with our person with advising, I can always make sure that to get them in touch, to get, actually it's Ashley Bill, in touch with President Jennings, and so that y'all can honestly have a closer connection. But those are areas, for instance, that report to me. The other areas, for instance, would be the past tutoring center and supplemental instruction, many of the areas that different special populations of students would need. And then I also oversee components of online education. And so those are my areas that I get to serve the university community. Like I said, we're just thankful that things are moving along this semester. So really, I'm going to open it up to questions that you might have for me.
Guys, if you do have questions, if you'll just come up here and use the microphone so our Zoom attendees can hear. Senator Govea.
Hi, Dr. Swain. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. I'd love to hear it. Oh, I can look over the, oh, that's cool. Hold up. I was just looking at you on the screen over here.
I know, it's crazy. I'm seeing myself in 3 different screens too. It's kind of wacky.
So last week we had a meeting, of course, General Assembly, and advising was brought up last week.
Okay.
We specifically brought up the idea of having possible peer advisors try to be here at the university. What's your opinion on that?
Well, it depends on what kind of peer advising we're doing. There's many ways that peers are amazing supports. And actually, in some of the areas, there'd be some important ways that we could prepare and work with peers, with college students, to make sure you get appropriate and accurate advising. So that's certainly an opportunity to look at different ways. But there are certain things that we're going to make sure that you either have the official faculty advisor or the professional staff advisor working with you. But honestly, many things are there. There's certainly aspects where peers could work and be trained to do peer advising. So that's certainly an option. And I'm happy to visit with, again, Ashley Bill on that. And if you would like to explore that, we can do that with you.
Just to give you guys some context, I've already met with Ashley Bill and we will be creating and advising. They can hear it on here. You can hear me, Dr. Swain, correct?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So just to give you guys some context, we have already discussed about making an advising task force with representatives from all of the colleges, because each college does advising differently, and kind of discuss best practices and how we could potentially improve that area. So that will be a very intentional discussion, and that is already in the works. You guys will be assigned to that potentially. So keep that in mind. But for tonight, as Dr. Swain said, she does not directly oversee advising. So that would be a more appropriate area for questions like that. So,
but
anyway.
That's a great question. I mean,
yeah.
I can, the great thing is I know who to connect you to.
Yes. Anybody have questions for Dr. Swain? Thank you, Senator Govea. Okay, well, I just wanted to say, Dr. Swain, I have found that Canvas has been super helpful, especially through online learning with this past crazy year. So kudos to you and your team for making sure that that's up and running. The syllabus module that we fought so hard for. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but basically we've been asking that the syllabus always be in a syllabus module where it's easy to find. And I don't know about y'all, but I've definitely seen improvement in that area. So we appreciate everything you do, Dr. Swain. Anybody have questions? Sorry,
thank
continue.
You. That was, I wish Claire graduated, so I wish she was here to see it in fruition.
Hi, Dr. Swain.
Hey.
I do have a question. So if we have a professor that is not maybe handling Canvas as well as they could be, how would we go about handling that?
Well, you know what you can do is, because I never want to put you guys on the spot, you can email me, and you need to, as much as I would like to say I know every faculty member and adjunct by name here, I'll be honest with you, sometimes the adjuncts, I'm not sure of all of them. So if you will email me, you can always email me, and then I can reach out to the department chair and just make that that concern known. And then we do have all different kinds of training for faculty to learn how to use Canvas better and more effectively. And honestly, if you'll just give me as much information, you know, it could be this person doesn't know how to do the quizzes, or, you know, we're having trouble. Again, the more information we have, the more we can do a better job of addressing the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else have some questions for Dr. Swain? Okay. Here you go, Senator Chauner.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Just a quick one. I'm a past tutor, and you said you're working under past tutoring. A couple of people have asked me recently about different tutoring that's available in different classes. I don't know whether it's you. I was going to speak to Laura Lee about it as well. How do we go about adding subjects or considering other subjects to be tutored?
You know, that is an excellent question. And honestly, thank you for asking that. Also, very cute shoes. We look at that every semester to try to look at where we're seeing students have a need. We also are open to departments coming to us and saying, hey, we're really interested in having past tutoring or supplemental instruction, because actually some areas want SI where others want tutoring. So we are always open to departments. And again, y'all can email me and we can work with the departments on your behalf. And, you know, we always have to weigh, you know, we've got a set budget and it does cost. I mean, you want your salary for your past tutoring work. And so there's always a financial aspect that we look at, but we also want to make sure we're providing tutoring and supplemental instruction in the areas where it is needed. And so if there's a need, and I realized I forgot to tell y'all what my email address is, it's cswain, CSWAIN @uttyler.edu. So again, it's totally fine to reach out to me and I can act on your behalf. Again, I never try to put students on the spot or where they feel like they're under the gun or, you know, that. So I'm always happy to ask questions on your behalf.
Awesome. Anybody else? All right. Well, just so you guys know, I'm sure you can tell, but Dr. Swain is a definite advocate for our student body and always loves to work with SGA, and we love to work with her. So we appreciate you being here, Dr. Swain. We hope your doc is okay.
Well, thank you. He's old and doing better, but thank you. I appreciate you guys. And have a great meeting, and congratulations to the new senators who are going to be sworn in tonight.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Dr. Swain. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Okay, so moving on down the line, our next guest for Speaker's Podium is Katie Stone. She's the director of the Quality Enhancement Plan, and I know most of you are probably asking yourself, what the heck is the Quality Enhancement Plan? Well, she is here to tell you.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Katie Stone. You may recognize me from my previous role at the university as the honors coordinator. Happy to be in this role. And actually, one of my trivia questions was going to be what the QEP was, but now that you all know, it is the Quality Enhancement Plan. It is part, as Dr. Swain said, it is part of our accreditation process, which happens every 10 years. And that process ensures that that we are complying with standards, right? Across with like federal standards and Texas standards and whatnot. But also, in addition to complying, the QEP is making sure that the institution is adding things that add to or enhance the quality of education you receive, right? So part of the accreditation process is making sure we're complying, but the other part, the fun part that I think I get to do, right, is to determine and decide how can we make UT Tyler the best it can be, right? And so that's what the QEP is, right? It's a plan to enhance the quality of the education here at UT Tyler. And so before my time in this role in 2016, right? Some of you, was anyone actually at UT Tyler in 2016, fall 2016? Wow. Okay. Well, Josh was. Okay. So in 2016, 2017, the campus got together, right? And so it was faculty, staff, students, alumni, community members, and they took assessment of where the institution was and where maybe we were failing our students, right? Where maybe students needed some extra help or maybe areas that we could enhance, right? And so there was a big survey sent out with 27 potential topics of where we could enhance the quality of education here at UT Tyler. And from that, it was determined that the QEP topic would be real world problem solving. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do, is to enhance the real world. See, it is such a difficult thing to say in a mask. Real world problem solving in undergraduate education. Now we are planning to incorporate and include graduate students in how we implement this, but our focus based off our consultants and other institutions who have implemented something similar, say focus on undergraduate education. And so I guess my purpose here today is really twofold. One, I wanted you to be aware of this because we have our accreditation body coming in March to do an on-site visit, right? And that's, I'm learning in this role, right? That's a big deal. And so it's also important that as part of the QEP, you all know what is happening, right? Because the QEP is, the sole purpose is for you all, right? And so we wanna make sure that you are aware of what is happening on campus. But in order for that to happen, I also need help, right? And what better people to ask for help than the students who are going to be hopefully helped through this process. And so after talking with President Jennings, she had the brilliant idea of coming up with an ad hoc committee to help implement the QEP on the student side. Now there will be faculty and staff and alumni and community members on a larger QEP steering committee, but this committee would be helping me implement assessment efforts, events, potentially, and communications and awareness out in the to the general body. And this is a project that has a really big impact. So the timeline of this is up until February. We are creating the proposal. We are making our plan, right? Now plans change, right? We all know that, but we're putting together a plan. And then that plan, if it is approved, right, after our visit in March, gets to be implemented starting in the fall. And it's a 5-year plan, right? Where we're gonna gradually scale up, right? We're gonna start small and scale up. And so you will be helping design a plan that affects the institution for 5 up to 10 years, right? And so could really use your insight and your voices as we make that plan. So I think that is a QEP in a nutshell, though I may have forgotten to address something, so feel free to ask me questions, but I'm really excited about the steering committee and what it can mean for the campus. So questions?
You discussed events. What kind of events were you thinking?
I am open, right? They just need to be tied to the topic of real world problem solving. So I'm working with honors on the Lyceum and the freshman book, right? Because I think those are broad-based campus initiatives. But I know like Souls has the big idea competition, and I see a direct correlation and tie to real world problem solving there. But I'm also open to other ideas as well. Thank you.
How often do you plan on doing the committee, and like how long?
So my goal is to have the committee meet a little bit more frequently in the fall semester. So hopefully twice a month. And then they will be integral in our on-site visit on March 15th. And so in helping me lead that presentation, doing a focus group on that day as well. And then probably it'll taper off. And then I'm only asking for a 1-year commitment from you all because I know that with SGA, it's a 1-year commitment. So that is kind of what I'm thinking about right now. Good question.
Yes. So just to clarify, the ad hoc committee does not exist at this moment in time. That's just something that we've discussed. No, you're good. You're good. So we would have to formally approve that, similar to the GSA committee that we have approved and all of that. The intention with that is it would exist as long as needed. It wouldn't be a standing committee necessarily at this time, at least. And whoever is on that, whoever is chairing it, whoever is elected as chair for that committee would then sit on the formal steering committee as well. So that's sort of the intention with that. And this is an area we can really do some good in the university. So I would definitely like for us to consider that. Anybody else have questions for Katie? Awesome. Well, thank you, Katie, for coming and talking to us. Round of applause. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Moving right along to officer reports. I will start. So this week, we had the election, as all of you new people know for sure. So hopefully you all voted. I will be looking to see if you did. I'm just kidding. I can't do that. Totally a joke. Now it's awkward because no one left. Okay. So anyway, I am very glad that we have so many fresh faces here in this room, super enthusiastic about what we can get done this year. So welcome to all of you. In addition to that, I have been working, like I said, on various things. The QEP is one of them, as well as advising. So those are 2 areas that we have requests from the administration level to assist the university. And I definitely would like for us to consider the ways that we can help in those areas. And then trying to think what else. Oh, we are planning a visit for next week to the Palestine campus. So I'm very excited about that. And we have like 2 slots. If anyone else would like to attend with us, it's sort of an all-day thing. We'll leave about 10 o'clock and come back about 2. And this is next Wednesday. But it's going to be a really good opportunity. We haven't been out to the Palestine campus in quite a while, but we do represent them. So I feel like it's really important that we see all of our distance campuses and get to know the students. And I'm very excited. So that's kind of it for me. Moving on to Vice President Stabenow.
Great. So this week I am meeting with the Sodexo directors and Chef Rami to handle midnight breakfast, which for all of the new senators, super exciting. Glad y'all are going to be here to participate in that. You're going to love it. As well as tomorrow is 2 really cool events. There's a suicide awareness walk outside of Harvey Lake, as well as the top 25% event, which if Casey can give some more details, we would love for y'all to be present at either one or both. If you can split your time and do that. Okay. And then the rest of my report is in committee. So
I updated the website. If you want to see your name on our website, you can look. Thank you, Josh, for the help. I'm still getting in touch with the lady with the tablecloths. We got to get our other purchase order for the t-shirts, the shipping, and the rest is in committee.
Ord, you're up, bud.
Far as the budget goes, so I received one, was it a funding request, like a receipt? So I got to plug that into the budget. Just a FYI to anybody that's trying to purchase things. So kind of working with half of what we got this year. So get ready. I'm not new to how you guys spend money, but just if it comes down to it, I'll tell you guys, hey, we running low, or, because it's the budget for this semester and next semester. So we got to keep that in mind. And then the rest of my report is for committee.
Okay, so most of what I've been working on the past few weeks and such will actually be discussed later today, hopefully. And other than that, I've been speaking with a few students on ways to actually get recycling going more here at UT Tyler. And other than that, that's really it.
We are working on getting this sound system together, but this will work for tonight. So move on to committee reports. So for you new senators, this is a time where each of our committees goes over what they've been working on. So we'll start off with the events committee with VP Stavinoff.
all right, so the events committee, pretty self-explanatory. We handle all of the events like midnight breakfast. We're going to be doing some other events for Fall Fest. This week, again, is the meeting with Sodexo discussing midnight breakfast. And then starting on Friday, I will be in my office from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. If y'all would like to come and discuss decorations, we have booked the entire UC for this event and we need to decorate it. So I would love to hear some ideas, thoughts, basically anything but glitter. No glitter. No feathers either. That's the other rule. Josh is very serious about those. And then going from there after the Palestine visit, that's what it's going to look like is every Wednesday. Once we order supplies, we'll be working on making those decorations because it is going to be a pretty large scale event. But other than that, my committee meets Tuesday at 4:30.
Yes. Okay. For communications committee, we have Secretary McNamara. How do you pronounce it?
It's McNamara. Yes, I'm Senator, sorry. So we talked about, we had a fee increase proposal last week, or we were talking about it. We talked about ways, just how to promote that and tell students about it. So we were going to make an Instagram post and posters to put up in the HPC. And then we need senators for education and psychology, I believe. So we were talking about maybe emailing the dean, just possibly seeing who would be interested in that.
Awesome. Moving on to SGAC.
SGAC, we have one request. It was requested last week, Friday on the 24th, I believe. And we have two old requests that I have to get done this week, at least email the people who have sent the request. So for the senators that's being introduced into SGA today, I plead with you, check your schedules and join SGAC, so we can get things done, up and rolling. It's one of the I believe, one of the most important committees, because the high volume of people who submit requests is it's a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ord. He's right. SGAC is very important. That committee deals with funds requests from various student organizations around the university. And Ord cannot do that by himself because we have to have enough senators to vote on these requests. So after this meeting tonight, stay put. We're going to get you guys assigned to committees and stuff. That attendance is also required on top of this meeting. They typically are way shorter than the General Assembly meetings, 30 minutes or so. But SGAC, we definitely need that up and running. So if you feel like that's something you'd be willing to do, keep that in mind for the end of the meeting. Awesome. Moving on to the Rules Committee.
Again, much of what we've been working on is going to be discussed later. Last meeting, we had a presentation on minor changes to the Constitution, and we got a lot of great feedback, actually, things that I missed. And it was great to actually go through it and, put in stuff that made more sense. And yeah, and we got some language approved, and that's going to be good. So hopefully we'll present on that later.
Awesome. And then David, if you want to just come down here. ESC, that stands for Environmental Sustainability.
Oh, wait, no, I need my computer for my notes because I will forget everything otherwise. Okay, so environmental sustainability is starting with environmental sustainability. We're meeting right now. We generally meet Tuesdays at around 4, but that's been inconsistent because we're all dealing with papers and stuff. So we're going to work that out. But otherwise, right now we're just kind of working on just getting this recycling initiative up and going. And otherwise, we're kind of working on this idea of having like a clothing drive / swap here on campus. So we're going to be reaching out to people this week, getting more detailed situation regarding whether or not it's actually going to be money involved and whatnot. So that will hopefully be developing further and we can discuss it more.
Awesome. And then, as I said earlier, GSA committee is one of our ad hoc. That means that it's temporary. GSA typically is its own organization, the Graduate Student Association. However, with COVID and everything, they have not been a registered student organization in a while. So in the meantime, we have taken up that cause of making sure our graduate students have a voice, which we do have graduate student seats in our Senate, but typically these meeting times don't work for those students. So we have our first meeting on Thursday, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I expect that it will be a small amount of attendance. I have a few people that have already said they'll be attending, but I'm hoping that I can really grow that so we can hear from more graduate students, especially on our newly merged health campus. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Moving on to student voice reports. This area is where you as senators will report to us what you've heard in your area. This is always going to be specific to what your seat is. So, Robert is going to be a College of Business senator. He would report on things he's heard about the College of Business from students. So this will change every week. I think right now with the number of constituencies we have represented, it'll be about a 3-week rotation. Of course, if there's something you need to bring up in the interim, you're welcome to do so, but it would be during new business rather than student voice reports. But every 3 weeks, you'll be expected to speak on what you've heard about your constituency from students, etc. Does that kind of make sense? Thumbs up. Great, awesome. So tonight we have the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business, and Patriot Village. Robert, since you're not sworn in, you don't have to worry about it. So we will start over here with Senator Gouveia. You can just pass it to Brandon.
So I met with Dr. Chris Winbergate last Monday. We just had a really insightful talk about what he wants to see happen here at the university, or like what his vision is for the College of Business. And it's just overall just pushing for initiatives that empower our entrepreneurship, which is, I guess, his way of promoting opportunity here at the university for us. He's like going to get businesses in Tyler to work with the College of Business a whole lot more, which I think is super cool. I'd like to be a part of all that kind of stuff, getting involved with not only the UT Tyler community, but with the Tyler community as a whole. We also talked about what freshman initiatives he has going on here. The Souls College Advisor, or the College of Business Souls Advisors. Ambassadors, that's the word. I'm sorry. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. The ambassadors going here. He talked about what organizations are doing here to promote like freshman involvement and all that good stuff. Just overall, a really healthy conversation about what is happening here at the College of Business. Yeah.
Okay, I don't really have too much to report. I know that at least for the College of Business, a lot of people are preparing for midterms, so it's just been a lot of studying for there. I have had faculty like push for people to meet their career success advisors for there, but that's really most of what I've heard from there.
I'm College of Arts and Sciences. I had someone come to me from an organization within College of Arts and Sciences asking about how they request funds. Do they just email ORD or do they have to submit a form? And if so, where is the form? I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it. The form is on Engage.
They would, yeah, the form is on Engage. And then if they have any additional questions, they can email me.
Okay. Is it on Engage under like SGA or something? Okay.
Yeah, it's on Engage on the Student Government Association where you can submit the form. Also, my email should be attached to that area as well.
Okay, perfect. I'll pass it on. Thank you.
I'm also from College of Arts and Sciences. I don't really have anything new to add. Like you said, I've just seen a lot of people in the lounge areas just studying for midterms. It's just been a little bit busier, but that's about it.
Pretty much the same, just trying to pass.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I'm Patriot Village and there hasn't really been much going on. We were having some inconsistencies with the Wi-Fi like last week, but they recently fixed that. So that's good. We all need Wi-Fi. But our resident coordinator, Christian Worsham, is being promoted. So she's kind of moving her stuff out of her office. I'm not sure the name of her replacement yet, but I'll get back to you guys on that, I guess. Awesome. Great job, everybody. Love to hear about the meetings with deans. That is not a constitution level formal request. However, it is a really good way to keep in touch with what's going on in your college. So we definitely recommend it, even though it's not formally required. Okay, moving on to old business. For those of you that are unused to this sort of format, this is an area where you're able to bring up anything we've previously discussed. Today we have 2 conversations that were tabled from last week that are proposed. So I'd like to entertain a motion to open up discussion on the Constitution updates. Awesome. So Landry, Chief of Staff Smith, if you want to come up here, let me get it pulled up for you.
Okay, so like we talked about last week, there was a few changes that did need to be made. One of those was the addition of an actual date that specified when Article 1.2 would be suspended up to, and we just made it December 31st. And then I also made the change of, since we added 2 senators to the UT Health Science campus, our total senator population can be 44, but it now changed to 46. So I just made a small change there. And then right here, it originally read the Residence Hall Association shall assign its 2 student housing senators no later than the 2nd General Assembly meeting. This is misleading just because it made it sound like the Residence Hall Association as a whole can only have 2 senators, which is not the case. It's for every residence hall there is. So that simple addition just made it future-proof. And then we changed the amount of justices from 8 associate justices to 4 justices. And then previously we voted on making the environmental sustainability a standing committee, and essentially we just put in the language to make that permanent on the Constitution. And then a little bit further down, there are some questions over whether or not the language basically gave the Environmental Sustainability Committee authority to, or I guess a better word was the responsibility to be in direct communication with those faculty that would also help promote environmental sustainability initiatives on campus. And so we changed it to where this further established that you are accountable to who you were supposed to speak to at this time. It's kind of like, actually that's a bad example, so never mind. But these are the changes to the Constitution. It's nothing super huge. They're all minor. If y'all have any questions, go ahead. All right.
Yes. You're allowed to. Okay. Secretary Matter in motion to close discussion and open it to a vote, and Senator Govea seconded it. So as a reminder, we're voting on this as is, so wording included. All in favor, please raise your hand, say aye, and or do a thumbs up emoji in the chat. As a reminder, if you have not been sworn in, you cannot vote. All opposed, say nay or do a thumbs up emoji. And any abstentions? Fantastic. So these changes pass, and the updated version of the Constitution will be put on the website shortly. Okay. Moving along, I'd like to entertain a motion to discuss the previously tabled budget presentation. Awesome. Ord, if you want to take over, do you have a presentation you need to share?
Yes, I have prepared a presentation.
Okay, let me give you co-host privileges so you can do so. Okay, you should be able to share it now.
Okay, so this is the SGA budget presentation that I've created. So what I did was took the last year's budget items and I kind of did some rearranging, and these are the action items that are still on the budget for this year. So this semester, next semester, and these action items on the right are the ones I removed was for elections because we already had elections. So I guess we didn't need that. Conference, office supplies, and SGA office phones. I'm not sure if is that like a recurring monthly bill. So, but this is subject to change. I mean, some of the action items that are on the budget could be taken off, and some of the actions items that can be removed, I can add them back. But tonight we'd like to vote on the budget so we can move on. And this is the proposed budget. So like I stated before, we're kind of working on the half of the budget because of the approved distro golf project that's going on was roughly estimated to be 14,000. So for this semester, this year, we had in total of $28,000, well, $29,000 to play with for this year. So the numbers you see, most of the numbers are really cut in half for what we really, want to do because of the project. This is my email. I would like to you guys, if you have any questions, email me at this email so I can keep my school and work email separate. And then also email me if I need to, redo some of the action items or add some or remove some of them. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Can you put it back on the page with that? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so just to give you guys some context for the new people, the disc golf project was approved by last year's Senate. And basically it was a 2-part renovation of the disc golf course. We did the first one over the summer and are now contractually obligated to complete the second half of the project, which is where that 14,000 number comes from. So that's why that's there. We don't have any flexibility in that area. So that part of the budget is what it is. The items above that are proposed line items that are flexible. So does anyone have any questions or comments or thoughts? Josh, Advisor Neves, he was asking whether the office phone line items and things like that are things that we're still currently using. Or can you put it back on the slide that has those items you removed? So these are line items that he's proposing that we would remove so we have some more flexibility in other areas. Are these things that we typically pull out of?
Is Josh on Zoom or he's in?
He's here in person.
Oh, he's in.
Advisor Neves.
So in prior years, the election line was established for in-person voting booths. For the last couple of cycles, the student government has done all election activity online with the use of reminders that are used. And since we've implemented that, there's been a slight increase in those who participate in elections. And so the election line was primarily just buying pizza. And so I don't see a need for keeping that. I think that could be rolled into events. Conference, student government used to participate in the American Student Government Association. And about 3 to 4 years ago, that executive board voted to not renew its membership due to the cost and not utilizing the services that were available. And so that conference line can be removed. And in the event that there is a conference that the student government or the e-board wanted to go to, we would just tap into student travel. Office supplies, I would recommend keeping because there are little miscellaneous things that pop up. And if student government uses a lot of paper, then I charge student government for restocking that paper. It could be business cards, it could be pens, little things. So I would keep a small line or
marketing.
Yeah, we could roll it into marketing. I'm okay with that. That's true. And then the SGA office phones, that is kind of an automatic because student government has 2 phone lines. And so I would recommend keeping that. I am hoping that within the year or two, student government will have a more permanent space in which those offices will need to have phone lines. And so those phone lines are pretty minimal. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's some things to consider from Advisor Neves. Or can you put it back on the proposed budget, please? Thank you. Okay. So here's what we have proposed before us right now, based on Advisor Neves' recommendations. Do with that what you will. So does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? And again, this is limited to voting members at the moment. Okay.
Motion to table this discussion one more week until we can get the removed line items edited back in as necessary. Okay, motion to table this discussion until next week so that the SGA office phone line item can be added back in.
Okay. All in favor of tabling this discussion until the office phone line has been added back in, please raise your hand or say aye. All opposed, please raise your hand and say nay. And any abstentions? Okay, so this discussion has been tabled until next week, which, seeing as we don't have a formal meeting next week, that will be, I guess, October 12th, that we will bring this back up and hopefully have a updated version. Yes, Ord.
I have to log off in a bit, but just to keep a reminder, Casey, you have my availability from the group chat. So when you get together with the senators tonight, please introduce them to that availability I have throughout the week. But that's all.
Absolutely. I'll be glad to take care of that. Awesome. I would like to entertain a motion to close this discussion. Fantastic. My gosh. Did y'all see that? Struggling. Okay. Moving on to new business, the most exciting part of the night, we get to swear in new senators. Everybody excited? Those of y'all on Zoom that are getting sworn in, can you turn on your cameras, please, if you don't mind? Because I have to see you raise your right hand and all that jazz. Oh yeah, Louise. Awesome. Welcome, Zoom friends. Okay, so if you are in person and a new senator getting sworn in, if you'll stand up for me. Yes. Okay, let me put the oath on here for y'all. It'll be easier. Okay, so the way this will work, we're going to do it all at the same time because it is going to be faster. And insert name, obviously you'll put your name. Don't say insert name unless that's your legal name. And then for senator, for the blank, you'll insert your office. So, you know, the example I used earlier, Robert Bennett will say senator for the College of Business, and so on. So whatever your constituency is what you'll list. So the way this will work is I will state a section of it and you'll repeat after me. I put it up on the screen and shared it via Zoom just so that you guys can read it in case the mask makes it hard to understand me, okay? All right, so all of our new people, please raise your right hand. I, insert name, do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of blank. Senator for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Awesome. You guys can sit down. Let's get a round of applause for our new people. Yay. We are so excited to have y'all. Welcome to SGA. Okay. Does anyone have anything to add for new business? Any new discussion items? Anybody? Also, Zoom guys, you guys can keep your camera on or not. It's up to you. That was just for the swearing. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to advisor comments.
Things. As a reminder to the t-shirt exchange or to the market thing, if money gets involved, I need to know because student government may not be able to host it. So it depends. And so that gets tricky when anytime there's money, if it's fundraising, that's one thing. If we're spending. So whenever the final details are locked in, let me know, and then I can provide guidance on that. I do want to remind everybody that I received an email that the applications for Student Regent is available. And I always encourage every year, I always try to motivate members of student government or our student body to apply for that opportunity. It is my dream goal to eventually have a UT Tyler student be a student regent. And it's a great honor and it's a privilege to be representing all of the students within the UT system. And it is a great leadership development opportunity and networking opportunity. And so if you are interested in that application, please reach out to me. I'm happy to provide guidance. I can do it for you, but I can definitely try to advise you to the best of my ability for that and prepare. The one stipulation is you have to be you have to be planning to be enrolled at a UT institution the next academic year. It is a 1-year commitment, and it is appointed by the governor of Texas. And so the chancellor does submit that, the final applicants to the governor for approval. So great opportunity, and I want to see some applications. And so the only way we're going to get a student is if we get some applicants. In addition to Student Regent, we also have the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board student representative. Since I've been at UT Tyler, there's only been a handful of applicants. And so that is a great way to learn more about the role of the coordinating board, the responsibilities that institutions are obligated to as it relates to curriculum requirements and much more. And so it's an equally important opportunity similar to the student region. So if you're interested in that application process, please let me know. Constitution changes, I did review them before they were presented today. They were all minor. And so I'm very glad that the previous SGA went through the process of amending the amendment process. And so that way the document that you are bound to can become updated more regular. And so that way we don't have to go through a semester process of changing something minor. And so all minor opinion, it's stuff that you're already doing. And so I do appreciate the work Landry's been doing. And once the Senate approves that, and once we get that process going, they should be fully approved at the institution side. I don't know if Ord's still here, but Ord did a good job on the budget. Similar to my comment about money, it's sometimes difficult, but the best thing that I always encourage is you are student fee funded. And so it is important that y'all try to utilize your funding and get it back to students in the form of the services that y'all provide. And so it isn't a large expense to do the disc golf renovation, but that is a service that not just students, but everybody gets to benefit from. So kudos to getting that going. And then my goal, what I challenge the e-board is to always get within 5%. Try to spend up to 5, only leave 5% left. Because to me, that means you've been good stewards of the budget that you received. You didn't go over and you used it appropriately. So what I saw today, I think that is a good proposal. And I think it will be quickly used given the amount that's left. Other than that. I'd have to double check on that. I don't think so. I think you just have to be enrolled. I'd prefer it was here at UT Tyler. But I think I'd have to double check on the requirements for that one. So, any other questions? And for recording purposes, the question was, do you have to be a UT Tyler student to apply for the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board position? All right. Oh, nope. That's good. I'll say that.
Okay, thank you, Advisor Neves. So moving on to announcements, as VP Stavanaugh said, tomorrow we do have the Suicide Awareness Walk. The entire event is 10 to 2. They'll have a table indoors and the walk going on outside. The walk itself is 11 to 1. We have a post on our Instagram if you need to double check the times. That is a mandatory event because we're supporting that. So please at least stop by sometime in the 10 to 2 hour. Say hi to VP Stavanaugh. Yes. The table is going to be outside, not inside. Yes, so we'll have an SGA table. Please stop by. For you new senators, we'll clarify the expectations as far as attendance at our training next week. But for now, please plan to stop by. Again, we also have the top 25% event. I already have Senator McNamara who's going to help me with that. So we're good on that front, but definitely stop by. Make sure you say hi to VP Stavanaugh to get attendance credit. Okay. Awesome. We definitely want to support programs where the counseling center, and that's one that they really want representation at. So we're excited about that. We are getting close to closing out this meeting. At the end of it, please plan to stay for a few minutes because I have a couple of things we need to cover, just getting organized. So don't jet out whenever we close. Anybody have any other announcements? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with Patriot Productions. Make sure you check out their Instagram for a list of events as well, including some virtual trivia, Houston Friends. Awesome. Well, in that case, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand. All opposed, say nay and raise your hand. And any abstentions. Surprisingly, as always, we are adjourned. Thank you guys, Zoom attendees. If y'all will just hold on a second.